everyone! So I've been getting a ton of requests to make a video on how I edit my Instagram pictures, and not a lot goes on in the editing process, but I did want to talk about how to find your Instagram theme. I'm definitely not an Instagram pro or anything, but I do like doing Instagram, if that makes sense. I don't really have a specific theme, but I do like to keep everything in balance. I used to be a normal person and just post photos whenever I felt like it and added the Instagram filter from the Instagram app and not even care. And that's most people. They use Instagram as a way of sharing what they're doing. But for me, Instagram somehow became less of a scrapbook and more of a gallery. I'm very choosy with my photos, but I think it's worth it because I like to look back at it and every photo is just meaningful to me. At the same time, that does not need to be you. I think the most important thing of finding an Instagram feed and maintaining it is consistency. So if all of your photos have no filter and they're just completely raw and random, then I think that in itself creates a pretty cool theme. So yeah, I'm just gonna get into my tips and tricks on how I take, edit, and post my Instagram photos. Once again, I am definitely not the best at Instagram. I suck at keeping up with it just because I don't take that many photos in my life. I actually suck at taking photos just because a lot of times when I'm doing something, I just like to enjoy the moment. So I like to pick and choose what I take pictures of. By the way, all of my reject photos pretty much end up on Twitter. So check out my Twitter and follow me if you want to see those. But other than that, you can follow me on my Instagram at kris.yu. If you comment on one of my pics telling me you came from this video, I might stalk you a bit. Otherwise, I hope you find this hashtag findyu video helpful. So for taking my photos, I sometimes but rarely use my DSLR for higher quality photos. I use my pocket camera for when I have it on hand while I'm vlogging, and my Polaroid camera, which I'll then take pictures of the Polaroids with my iPhone, which happens to be my favorite tool for taking pictures because I always have my phone with me, and to me I think it honestly takes the best pictures. What to take pictures of? Your Instagram theme can focus on many things including food, fitness, fashion, or you could use it to simply share memories. I personally like to take pictures of anything that captures my eye and expresses my lifestyle, which includes basically everything I listed previously. So find whatever sparks your eyeballs and snap it. Okay, so the main apps that I use to edit my photos are VSCO, Snapseed, and Facetune, but 99% of the time I only use VSCO. And my VSCO account is usually all over the place. My editing process is so simple. Literally all I do is add a touch of A6. Boom! Adding A6 to all of my photos just makes it look 10 times better. I don't know why. It just gives it a little bit more contrast and brings out the colors really well. It's personally my favorite preset on VSCO, and you actually have to download it for free if it's your first time using VSCO. And I like to bring this down to about a 7 or an 8, just because sometimes I don't want the photo to look too filtered. Sometimes I'll brighten up the photo a bit and add a little bit of contrast and a touch of sharpen. Some people like cooler tones, but I personally like a touch of warmth on my photos. And if you want to have a cohesive theme, I think it's important to stick with similar filters. If you really like the way you edited a certain photo, you could actually copy the edits, then just select the photos you want and paste the edits. You can even get inspired online on websites like Pinterest and Tumblr to get ideas on what kind of presets to use on VSCO Cam. This preset is actually the closest to the filters that I normally use on my photos. But sometimes, for example, like this photo, A6 is a little bit too blue tone for me, so I'll go for something warmer like M5. This photo itself is a little bit grainy, so I'm gonna add actually even more grain. I know I'm weird, but I might as well go for that old look. I'm gonna try sharpening it just a little bit and maybe cooling the temperature. Sometimes I like to add a little bit of a red shadow tint, just literally like 3, because this brings out the greens in your photo. Okay, now I'm going to add that into Facetune, and I mainly use Facetune to whiten the whites in my photos. So even though the background might look white, it's actually really gray. So I'm going to rub all over. And you could go ahead and zoom in and erase parts that you don't like, my hand, and you can see that that made a big difference. I also like to use Facetune to remove parts of a photo I don't like. So for example, that really tiny random thing there, I want to remove it, so I use patch. And there's also a teeny tiny reflection of my phone, which I don't know who's gonna tell, but I am, so I'm just going to patch it up. Boom! You could also use the smooth or defocus tool to kind of blur things in the background to make the foreground stand out a little bit more. So I'm just blurring out these people, and it makes a tiny bit of a difference. You can honestly experiment and do whatever the heck you want. Honestly, if I wanted, I could just add my face right there. With Snapseed, I mainly use the selective tool. If I want a certain part of the photo to be brighter without having to brighten the entire photo, I'll just select a certain area. I want a bit more contrast. Last but not least, I want to thank To The Nines for introducing me to this app called Unknown, which is so helpful to seeing how your feed will look before you upload it onto Instagram. If you connect your Instagram account, it will automatically import all the photos, and then you could even see what your feed will look like if you delete some photos or move the columns. Alright guys, I hope you found this hashtag findyu video helpful. If you like this video, let me know by liking it because actions speak louder than thoughts. Hopefully this video inspired you to just observe your surroundings a bit more and to just get creative. Instagram can be a very creative thing. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing or edit the same way that I edit. Even I want to change it up and do something different. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!